quick to stack them up. That was Spencer Brown in on a tackle. Brown, 6 foot, 168-pound junior with a big tackle right there.
This is where it gets tough, Chip. This is where you have to put it in the end zone.
Lund, they give up the middle.
To Michael Bressard.
Bressard gets down to about the 4. That brings up a third down play. And a big play here for the Red Raiders. They send Bobby Flynn wide right. Lund. They send a man in motion to give us to Morrell. And Morrell looked like he might have run into his own blocker.
He got in behind him, but number 87, Curtis Matlock, coming in from that defensive end position, came in there and wrapped Jimmy Morrell up. Jimmy kind of got, looked like he tried to cut upfield, but lost a little bit of traction and went down. And Matlock was right there to wrap him up.
Mike Bressard is going to attempt a field goal here. Try to get the Red Raiders on the board. The kick is up, and it is good. With 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in our first quarter, the Massena Central Red Raiders get on the scoreboard first. They lead it by the score of 3-0.
That's just another dimension to your team, Chip. If you can hit field goals, if it comes down to a tie ball game and you don't have the time left, you got to have somebody who's got a foot and maybe put, give you 3 points. Anyway, if you can't put it into the end zone, take your chances. And, that's a good way to start. They know they can move the ball. They stalled a little bit when they got down inside the 20. But again, it showed a lot of heart with this Massena team. It was nothing fancy, just smash mouth football and got them down the field.
And the Red Raiders, as I mentioned before, with over 1,400 yards of rushing, 1,691 yards of total offense, used the running game once again to get down into field position and get on the scoreboard here. Bressard about set to kick off. And it's Joe Rockhill who will return this kickoff. Rockhill gets behind some blockers. And a pretty nice return, really. 25-yard return for Joe Rockhill. The Malone Huskies will go 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Malone, number 4 offensively in the NAC. 1,655 yards of total offense. They rank number 2 in passing with 645 yards. Jay Quinville is their leading ball carrier, 125 carries, 605 yards, 6 touchdowns on the season. He's also number 4 in receiving in the NAC with 14 receptions for 136 yards. And the Huskies quarterback by Corey West. West is number 2 in the NAC in passing, 37 of 73 for 524 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's also, though, Tim, has thrown 7 interceptions.
Yeah, that's tough. He's not afraid to throw the ball, and sometimes he just doesn't make the right decision, and it ends up in an interception. But I don't think he's going to be afraid to air the ball. I don't think Coach Dan West is going to be afraid to tell him, air that ball out, loosen up that defense, and then it'll let the running game take over.
Joe Rockhill will also
There's the option.
Catch. Quinville, the ball carrier, and the Red Raider defense, Bressard, one of them. A good job that time. Looked like Jim Morrell. Bobby Flynn. Come up and make a big stop right there. There you see our score. Corey West, as I mentioned, the quarterback of this Malone football team. .6:30 remaining here in our first quarter. West looks over the Massena defense. And we have
movement on number 66, I believe.
And that's Jason King. King 5'9", 175-pound junior. Anticipated a little bit too soon that time.
Well, I think this is definitely a passing down, and Massena's got to be thinking that. And like we said in the opening, you can't let, we said it all along, you just can't let anybody behind you when you're a defensive back, because once you let them behind you, that's 6 points, or it's at least a big gain.
West drops back, throws a ball intended for Joe Rockhill, and Rockhill disappointed with himself as he had his hands on it, but could not haul it in.
He had him. That was a well-thrown ball. That was where it had to be, but like you said, he just couldn't haul it in. Shallow punt.
Running downfield to down the ball is Jay Quinville, but the Massena Central Red Raiders will have excellent field position with their second offensive opportunity in this football game. 5 minutes and 54 seconds left here in our first quarter. Massena leading 3-0. They have Bressard and Zender in the backfield. Morrell now going in motion. And they give us to Bressard. Bressard gets a lot of running room. Mike Bressard into Malone territory, still on his feet, finally hauled down by about 3 Malone players. But Mike Bressard with another large gain on the ground for the Massena Central Red Raiders.
This is the replay. Nice. See, just Michael, he just turns it upfield, gets his shoulders going, squares, got great blocking downfield, and then he just does the rest by making people miss and dragging them along until they finally get him down.
Red Raiders with good blocking up front that time. A nice gain by Bresser. Red Raiders with a first down, and this is Zender. Zender with another good gain for Massena. It'll be second down and 5 to go. Red Raiders deep in Malone territory once again. Lund to give up the middle to Bresser. This time he is stopped, little or no gain. First man in on the play is Doug Griffith, number 71. Griffith, 5'8", 238-pound senior, with a big play there for the Husky defense. Under 5 minutes in our first quarter. Lund, this time they give us to Morrell. He has a little trouble hanging on to the ball. And in on the tackle, Dick Rockhill, one of the Malone tacklers. Morrell may have lost a yard or two that time, Tim.
Yeah, he did. He tried to get to the outside. Excuse me, but great pursuit by the Malone defense. Strung it out, and Jimmy had no place to go, and the pursuit finally caught up with him. I think we may see Massena air it out here with a third down, so close to the end zone.
They send Flynn wide right. Lund to drop back. Pass intended for Flynn in the end zone. He's
all
open.
Alone.
It's a touchdown. Bobby Flynn on the receiving end of a Rick Lund pass. I think they called it a 25-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, and here it is. You see it. Like we said, don't let them behind you. And Bobby Flynn behind the defensive back, and there's 6 points for the Raiders. Raiders up 9-0.
Donovan Rail on the coverage over there for Malone. He gets burnt. and the Red Raiders with a touchdown. Now on for the extra point, Mike Bressard. His kick is up. It is good. And the Massena Central Red Raiders now lead this game by the score of 10-0. 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining here in our first quarter.
Hi, this is Bob of A1 TV and Appliance, downtown Massena. We want your business, and we're willing to do what is necessary to get it. A1 TV and Appliance features Zenith Color TV and Zenith VCRs. You can buy any Zenith product from us at very competitive prices. You can have easy in-store credit or ask us for a better cash price, and we'll do our utmost to give it to you. Plus, we will give you the best possible local service that is reliable and dependable. Why buy Zenith anywhere else when you can get the best of everything from us at A1 TV and Appliance in downtown Massena? Thank you.
A1, the best of everything. A1 TV and Appliance.
Mike Bressard set the kickoff. Back for Malone. Joe Rockhill, number 25. And Jay Quinville, number 23. A low kick. Bouncing. Jay Quinville steps up. And he picks up maybe a yard as the Massena Central Red Raiders special team. Do a good job covering that kickoff.
He was nailed by Ryan Kerwin and Jamie Mock. They both came in there and just lowered the boom on Quinville.
And the Huskies ready for their second series of offense in this football game. West getting pressure, and he is tackled. Corey West was going to attempt a pass, but had all kinds of pressure. And it appeared, I think Corey David was one of the ones in there. Corey David coming back after missing a couple of games, and well, the Red Raider leading tackler.
And he's still, I believe he's still ranked 4th in the NAC with being out for 2 weeks. And as you saw, Massena's defense, the pass defense was excellent on that. West had nobody to go to that allowed the rush to get in there and cause the sack. There's a draw play.
They give us to Jay Quinville. Quinville picks up little yardage once again. They call it 3.
So we have about a 3rd and 10 situation here. Must be another passing down for Malone. They haven't really gotten anything started as far as moving the ball. Massena's defense really playing tough.
Although Joe Rockhill did drop a pass on the first series of downs that would have resulted in a first down. West back to pass. He has time. Now he rolls to his right. Pass is completed to Joe Rockhill, but Rockhill is short of a first down.
Picked up about 8 on that play.
4th and 3 for the Huskies. And back in punting formation is Todd Taylor. Taylor punts, not really a good kick. Bobby Flint handles the ball. Scampers over midfield into Malone territory. And that's where the Massena Central Red Raiders will begin on offense once again from about the Malone 47-yard line. 1 minute, 27 seconds remaining here in our first quarter. Rick Lund. The give this time up the middle to Mike Bresser. Bresser might have picked up a couple of yards. Tackled on the play by Joe Rockhill. Will be second down for the Red Raiders. This time the give is to Jim Morrell, but he is stopped immediately. Once again, Joe Rockhill in on the tackle.
The Malone defense stiffening up here now. This is Massena's third drive, and defense really stiffening up, not letting the Massena run like they were in their first two series. So either the linemen of Massena are getting a little, getting a little too cocky, or their defense has really stepped it up a notch.
Now Lund, the pass intended for Bobby Flynn, but it goes over his outstretched arms and incomplete.
So we've got about a 4th and 11, 4th and 12, and Massena will bring out the punting crew. Scott Pomainville will be doing the punting for the Red Raiders.
Once again, Quinville and Rockhill back for the Huskies. Pomainville gets off a pretty good kick. Good coverage, too, down there by the Massena Central Red Raiders. As that was Corey Lajam down there. Quinville decided to call for a fair catch. And the time has elapsed in our first quarter. From Mike Nicholas Field, our score, the Massena Central Red Raiders leading after one quarter over the Malone Huskies by the score of 10-0. You're watching NAC football here on Edwards Production Sports.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Bob Post has been there for over 30 years, serving the people of Massena with complete auto, home, and life insurance coverage. If you're not satisfied with your insurance situation, call Bob Post at 764-0189. Let him give you a quote and see the advantages that State Farm can offer you. Welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field. Malone will take over on their own 15-yard line to start the second quarter. They are down 10-0.
Mike Bressert with a big first quarter, Tim, for the Massena Central Red Raiders.
Well, obviously this is unofficial. It's really hard to tell the yard lines from our positioning here, but unofficially I've got Michael Bressard with 5 carries for 73 yards, and you saw a lot of that come on those 2 big plays that he had up the middle, just running people over and making a miss. He's having an outstanding game. He played well for us late in the season. Again, last year when he was on the JVs, really turned out to be one of our star players.
The Malone Huskies start 1st and 10 from their own 15. They send Rockhill in motion. Corey West gives to Jay Quinville, and Quinville gets good yardage. He picks up about 6 yards on the play, crosses his own 25-yard line. The Malone Huskies, who gained 298 yards on the ground last week in a 41-8 win over the St. Lawrence Central Larrys. Rockhill once again going in motion. West fumbles the ball, but I think he picked up his own fumble. In on the play is Brian Bartow as he busted past his man.
He did. He is awfully quick. He's small, but he has just such quickness on him. He'll blow right by you, and you won't even see him. And he caused that fumble, but fortunately for Malone, that they got their own fumble back.
They have a 3rd down and 12 facing them, and once again, the Red Raiders are putting them in a passing situation.
And I have to say, not to jinx the Raiders here, but they are doing a great job on their pass defense.
You can bet they worked on the pass defense during practice this week, knowing that Malone liked to pass the football. Here's a pass intended at about the 25-yard line, intended for Jay Quinville, but the pass is low and incomplete. And Malone are going to be forced to kick once again to punt. 10 minutes and 28 seconds remaining here in our second quarter. Todd Taylor back in the game. And the Red Raiders standing back to receive this punt at about the 40-yard line. And it's Morrell, Jim Morrell, trying to go left. Morrell gets some room. I was looking to see if there were any flags down on that play.
Was that a block or what? That gave Jimmy Morrell just enough room to get to the outside and upfield. Great blocking. I didn't catch the number. That was either Danny Bailey or Tarasca on that. Just blew him out of there and got Jimmy Morrell up the field. Danny Bailey turtled him, laid him right out, made him part of the turf. Huge, huge block.
I think Chris LaPrat also helped out with a block there too. Tim? Red Raiders send Morrell in motion. One back to pass. He's looking deep. It's intended for Bobby Flynn, but Flynn was well covered on the play, and the pass was thrown over. The Red Raider wide receiver, incomplete. 10 minutes and 10 seconds left to play here in our first half. Happy to have you along with us here on Edwards Production Sports for Northern Athletic Conference football. A big game here this evening, with the winner not really assured of a playoff spot. With whoever loses is definitely going home. The Red Raiders run up the middle, and it's Jim Morrell with a huge gain down to about the 1-yard line.
Excellent blocking, and you saw Jimmy hit that hole, and he just exploded up the field and got down to about the 1-yard line. And here you see it. He just blasted through that hole. There's a big hole there, and he's just outrunning people. Finally brought down by number 82, which is Donovan Rayom. Great job by the Red Raider line.
They mark the ball at the 2. The Red Raiders first and goal from the Malone 2. Lund, they give up the middle for Morrell.
Raiders were indicating touchdown, but
I don't see any official.
Nothing from the officials.
He picks up about a yard on the play. We'll call it second down and goal from the Malone 1.
Good-sized crowd here tonight, Chip. We thought we had a big crowd Hall of Fame night, but I think this ranks right up there.
So the Red Raiders, who rushed for only 20 yards in the first half against OFA, have done an outstanding job so far in this game as they score another touchdown.
It was Carl Zender who got the dive play, just went, there you see it. Carl Zender right in there. 6 points for the Raiders.
Now, Tony DiAgostino was commenting in the paper earlier this week that, obviously happy in a way going into this game because he had some players coming back. Jason Tarasca back in the lineup along with Timmy Villeneuve. And, that gets some experience in the line.
It does. It gets the experience back in the line, and it gets your big fellas, your stronger kids back into the lineup and where they were gelling, earlier in the season. And then when somebody gets hurt, you have different combinations in there, and sometimes it's hard to get things rolling. But they have it rolling tonight. As you see, they just put another one on the board.
Mike.
As you see our score on the Hanet Cahaga Fuel scoreboard, Massena 17, Malone 0. And the Red Raiders will be set to kick off.
The Malone Huskies have been stunned here in this first half.
I don't think Malone quite expected to see the team that showed up here tonight for the Red Raiders. Coming out and hitting quick.
Quinville and
Michael
Rockhill.
Bresser. Huge kick by Michael, gets it into the end zone, so they'll be taking over on their own 20-yard line. And that's what happens. You know, you get your team starts getting fired up and you start doing things right. Michael wasn't, his kickoffs weren't anything beautiful, and then that one, you get the momentum in your favor, and he just boots the big ball, got it out of the end zone, and you start on the 20-yard line. You can't ask any more from your kicker.
Massena defense back out on the field. The Red Raiders gave up 419 total yards of offense to OFA, and 350 of those yards were on the ground. But this evening, it's been a whole different story so far.
Great play by Massena's number 87.
The handoff that time was to Jay Quinville. Quinville, who had 20 carries and 135 yards in a losing effort against Potsdam. Gets virtually no yards that time.
That was a great job. He came across the line square, turned it inside, and just grabbed Jersey, held on, and finally brought him down.
Malone Huskies are coached by Dan West. West in his 14th year. The Huskies pick up some good yardage this time. That's Todd Taylor.
We missed something there over on the other sideline. I thought West was down. There is a flag on the play. Looks as if he lateraled it and they moved the ball up further. I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
There is a flag down on the play.
And it will be on Malone. Talking with the Red captains.
8 minutes, 17 seconds left on the scoreboard clock in our first half. The Red Raiders in the lead, 17-0.
And loss of down, illegal forward pass. He was beyond the line of scrimmage. Okay, I didn't see what happened. Got the ball off, so you lose 5 yards and that down. So puts him once again in a third and long situation. There's a quick look in. Oh, and he took a big hit from Bobby Flynn, and Bobby Flynn ended up on his can.
Corey West that time, just a quick one-step drop back and try to hit Spencer Brown. Just moving over the line, and the ball went off his hands, and then he was hit immediately.
That's just a little look-in pass, Chip, where you it's all timing. You know, you release your tight end, you just stop, pop him, and hopefully he can get you a first down or whatever yards you need.
Back to punt again. There's Todd Taylor. And Taylor has this one blocked.
I believe that's Timmy Carbonneau coming up, number 87, got the block. He's been playing the defensive end position for the Raiders and doing a bang-up job. And there you see he just got the blocked punt. Give the Raiders, once again, great field position. On the Malone 15.
And a big play by the Red Raider special team unit. They have the ball on the Malone 15-yard line. Knocking on the door once again. Lund, they give us to Bresser. Bresser shakes away from one tackle. Picks up about 5 yards on the play. Tackled on the play by Jay Quinville, but there is a flag down on the play. Penalty is against the Red Raiders. It's 15 yards that they're going to mark off against Massena. Red Raiders have a 1st and 25 and a fumble.
Looks like they recovered it. No, Malone recovered the ball.
It was not a clean handoff. I don't think Bressard ever had his hands on the ball.
No, he didn't. Lund got hit just as he was handing it off to Michael Bressard, and Mike never had his hands on it, like you said, and fumbled it away, picked up by number 64, which is Dale Sherwin for Malone Huskies. So now Malone has the ball. Hopefully, they've had 4 possessions, Chip, and they've had to punt away. They've been 3 and out for all 4 possessions.
And a big play, really, on for the Malone team, because after getting that punt blocked a moment ago, and the Red Raiders in excellent field position, this is Corey West with a quick 2-step drop back and then a pass for Donovan Rayom.
Here you see that little look-in pass. Just a timing pattern. Just pop it to him and tell him to get upfield and get you the yardage.
Rayom gang tackled on the play by the Red Raider defense, but a good gain as they move the chains. Clock ticking at 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in our first half. Corey West drops back. He's looking deep. His pass was intended for Joe Rockhill, and it's intercepted
by Jimmy Morrell of the Raiders. Great job. There's 8 interceptions. There you see, he was looking for him. Thought he was open. The ball was thrown behind him, and there was Jimmy Morrell to pick it up.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Corey West, the number 2 passer in the NAC, 37-73 coming into this game, 2 touchdown passes, but he's also thrown for 7, now his 8th interception on the season. Red Raiders have the ball back. They give the ball up the middle. Mike Bressard is stopped by Dick Rockhill after a little gain. Rockhill, 5'10", 155-pound junior. We're under 5 minutes to play here in our first half. Morrell goes in motion. Lund a handoff, this time to Morrell. He's running around left end. He has some room. Tries to get away from Malone's Dick Rockhill once again. A good gain for Massena's Jim Morrell. Morrell, who had 15 carries and 82 yards and scored one of the rushing touchdowns in Massena's 22-12 loss to Potsdam last Monday. Lund, they hand out to Morrell once again. Morrell gets away from Rockhill this time. Now we have Zender and Rockhill exchanging slaps to the side of the helmet. Second and 6. The ball on the Malone 32-yard line. 4:47 remaining in our first half.
Should be a motion penalty on the Raiders. Yep, false start by the Raiders. And we've got our own ref sitting down here, one of WEPT's own, Jeff Reynolds and his son come out to watch the game.
Rick Lund this time gives to Carl Zender. Zender is spun around as meeting him at the line was Donovan Rayholm. Spun him around and Massena has about a 3rd and 6 in front of them. Bobby Flynn comes wide right. Now a quick drop for Barton. Barton makes the catch, a first down. Rick Lund. Tim, that time a play out of the Malone playbook in this game.
I guess it was.
As Rick Lund, just a quick drop back, here it is.
And there's Michael Barton. He's got great hands. And he's a big kid, hard to get down, and he picked up about 17 yards for the Raiders.
Mike Barton from his tight end position picks up the first down. Red Raiders with the ball on the Malone 11. They give us to Zender. Zender's in for a touchdown.
Zender just on a dive from about the 10-yard line. See, that's the big part of the game, Chip. You hit that hole and you hit it quick, and you start getting yards upfield. Look, he just gets that ball, blasts through the hole, makes a miss, goes in almost untouched.
And the Massena Central Red Raiders, who have struggled with injuries all season long and have gotten some players back healthy for this game, and they have done a good job in this first half. The extra point is up, and it is good. With 3 minutes and 37 seconds left on our scoreboard clock in the first half, our score, the Massena Central Red Raiders 24, the Malone Huskies nothing.
Known for their eye for detail and beauty, Cook's Greenery and Floral Impressions always gives you that extra something, either in value or savings. Because of their overwhelming success, Cook's will soon be expanding their Floral Impressions flower shop. Watch for holiday specials. If you have a greenery project and need advice, call the experts at Cook's Greenery and Floral Impressions. Created by Mother Nature, arranged by Cook's Greenery and Floral Impressions. Located on Route 37 in Hogansburg.
Welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field. Raiders once again ready to kick off. Michael Bressard will kick off to Quinville and Rock Hill, I believe.
You are correct, Tim.
You are correct, sir.
Bressard's
Another
kick
big one.
sends Rock Hill back to his own 5. He's going to try to run the left side. He gets away. Rock Hill running down the middle and is finally tackled at gets to the Massena 46-yard line. A big kickoff return by Joe Rockhill.
Finally brought down by P.J. Rochford and Austin Rush for the Raiders. The last-ditch effort right there. It was either P.J. and Austin getting him down, or there was points on the board for Malone.
Corey West hands off to the second man through, and that's Jay Quinville, and Quinville gets little yardage on that play.
Nice
Good play by Dan Bailey.
Dan Bailey, I was just about to say, he came through, wrapped him up, brought him down for a very short gain of only about 1.
Dan Bailey, 6 foot, 240-pound senior.
Rock Hill back to pass, airs it out. Rock Hill all alone, but nowhere near him. That's another incomplete pass for Corey West. While we have this time, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Cook's Greenery. Hanet Kahaga Fuels also sponsors our scoreboard. A1 TV and Appliance, Stan's Men's Shop, C&M Ford, Robert Post Insurance Incorporated, Northway Carpets and Floor Center, Edwards Mini Mart, Econo Fuels, Burns Truck Stop Number 9, the Wolf Clan Truck Stop, Dick's Outboard Motor Shop, and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Corey West looking over the middle once again. It's complete for Donovan Rayom. That passed him. That route has been one of the few that has worked for Malone so far in this football game. And once again, it's just a quick two-step drop back and hit the tight end over the middle.
Well, there's one way the Raiders can come at that. What you do is you tell your defensive end, don't let him out. Just keep hammering away at him because it's a timing pattern. And if you just hammer that defensive end and hammer him, or if he catches the ball, he comes across the middle, let your inside linebackers just unleash on him, and he's not going to want to run in there anymore. We have a timeout on the field. There you see some of the crowd here tonight.
For this big game, at halftime, we will try to get you a score from the OFA Watertown game. They began tonight at 7 p.m. also. If OFA beats Watertown, and if Massena wins,
then they are in the upper tier playoffs. And with this timeout, we'll take a little commercial break. You're watching Edwards Production Sports here on Channel 36.
This game is brought to you by Massena Chrysler Plymouth Dodge and Dodge Trucks. Support within the community. It establishes spirit, pride, and accomplishment. Support our athletes of all ages. They will be the support of our community in the future. Massena Chrysler Plymouth Dodge and Dodge Trucks is located at 98 Center Street in Massena.
Welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field, and I'd like to say to everybody watching this broadcast that the Massena JVs play tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we sure could use your support, and we could use the parents of some players. We need scorekeepers, somebody to work the chains, and these kids go out and bust their humps every day at practice, and we've got a huge crowd here tonight. I'd like to see some people come in tomorrow, 1 o'clock. We play Canton. It should be a good game. Our kids have really come along this year, and we don't have big numbers, but they're big in the heart department, and they deserve the support that the varsity gets. They're out here supporting the varsity, and you varsity players, you come on out and help support these JVs.
Jay Quinville picked up the first down for Malone. We're under 2 minutes to play in our first half. West looking deep. He's getting pressured. Pressure from Mock. Now he throws over the middle. It is caught by Matt Shodat at the Massena 20-yard line. Another first down, and the Huskies on the move.
And here you see it plenty of time. And there was Mock. Mock was the only one who was even close, but just a little rollout got Mock off his back, and he found Shodat for a big gain.
West rolls to his right, looking, now throws back over the middle. This time the ball is dropped by Donovan Rayom. Nice pass, too, right in his hands. Rayom dropped it.
Shouldn't have hit him in the hands, Chip.
That's right, one of the worst places to hit a receiver. Second down and 10 for the Huskies. Minute 12 remaining in our first half. West this time rolls to his left. He fires a pass intended for Jay Quinville coming out of the backfield. That goes off his hand and out of bounds. It will bring up a third down.
There's our Hanet Kahaga Fuel scoreboard. Massena 24, Malone 0. All this with the sights and sounds of Edwards Production Sports. Bringing it to you live on tape from Mike Nicholas Field.
You'll have to explain that. Corey West dropping back. Now it's passes caught
Oh,
by Quinville.
big hit.
Tommy Fay.
Tommy Fay, inside linebacker, came up and just drilled him.
Tommy Fay with 57 tackles on the season coming into this game.
There is a flag on the play. It's on the Huskies, so that was null and void. I hear a little bit of the tomahawk chop going on somewhere here. I didn't see what the call was, but it was a 15-yarder. 3rd and 27.
Under a minute to play in our first half, and I'm sure that's not what Dan West was looking for from his Malone offense. West drops back. He's looking. He's got lots of time. Throwing deep, and it is picked off.
Rick Lund, he just wants to stay in bounds, runs as long as he can.
Lund reverses
cuts it back
the
the other way. Big play by the quarterback and free safety Rick Lund.
Lund gets into Massena territory down to, let's say, the 45-yard line of Massena with 19 seconds remaining here in our first half.
And here you see he's got plenty of time. He's looking for receivers, getting flushed. Now he just tries to overthrow it, and you can see it's not a perfectly thrown ball. And there's Rick Lund to step into it. And now he does some razzle-dazzle. He stops, turns, heads the other way, getting some blocks. Just outruns him to the corner and finally gets taken out at the 45. Big, big defensive play.
Corey West's pass was intended for Joe Rockhill. This is Mike Bressard running on the left side. Picks up some good yardage to about the Malone 33-yard line. They're going to move the chains. A timeout called by Massena. Red Raiders with possibly an opportunity to
12
put some
seconds.
more points on the board.
They've got about 2 plays. If you can get it out, of bounds or incomplete pass, you've got about 2 plays.
I knew at the beginning of this game when I said this promises to be a good one, I knew I was going to jinx one of these two teams.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Maybe that's right. We got another half of football left.
That's right.
And, we saw Massena do it against Watertown. You know, it happens all the time. You just have to find out what you've been doing wrong on your defense and your offense, find out what their defense and offense have been doing, try and shut them down and get yours working, fire your players up. You know, captains have a little talk with the team. And, Massena certainly can't sit on a 24-0 lead with the way that Corey West likes to throw that ball.
Yeah, Corey West had a 49-yard run for a touchdown earlier in the season. I know he's also connected with passes to Joe Rockhill for a couple of big gains.
Halfback option pass. Oh! Is it caught?
I believe it's incomplete.
Michael
and it was
Barton.
Mike Barton. We saw that play work against Watertown.
Halfback option pass. Coach Tony DiAgostino pulling it out of the bag of tricks. Here you see it. Swing pass. And see now, it gets the defense to freeze. Throws that ball up there. Good pass. Once again, hit him in the hands. And Michael Barton just couldn't keep it. Couldn't keep it under control.
Nice throw by P.J. Rochford, too. If Barton could have held on, it was another 6 points for the Red Raiders.
Well, P.J. is backup quarterback, and he's had a good arm. He was our quarterback again last year on JVs.
This will probably be, with only 3 seconds remaining, the last play of the first half. And
Yeah,
the Red
he'll
Raiders,
just kneel on it.
an excellent half for the Massena Central Red Raiders. They pick up 24 points. There you see our score. We are at halftime. You are watching Northern Athletic Conference football action, and it's all right here on Cable 36, Edwards Production Sports.
Hey, did you hear Edwards Mini Mart is expanding? Now we have a second location to serve you. That's right. The former Red and White Grocery in Raymondville is now owned and operated by Scott and Brenda Edwards. Stop in and check out our prices on gas, beer, soda, and groceries. We're right on the main drag, Route 56 in Raymondville, open daily from 7 to 11. This could be the start of something good.
Welcome back, football fans, to Mike Nicholas Field. A little halftime wrap-up here. We saw the Massena Red Raiders have the ball 7 times in this first half. On their first drive, they ran 7 plays and ended up with a field goal by Michael Bressard, and that made the score 3-0. Then on their second drive, from the 50-yard line, they drove 50 yards on 4 plays. Lund to Flynn on a 25-yard touchdown pass, and the extra point by Michael Bressard brought the score 10-0. Then on the third drive, from the Malone 47, they only had 3 plays. They ended up with a punt. They were 3 and out. Fourth drive, they started on the Malone 27, 3 plays with a 1-yard touchdown run from Carl Zender, with the extra point being good by Michael Bressard. Fifth drive, they had 1 run, and then they fumbled the ball. Sixth drive, they got the ball back on an interception by Jimmy Morrell. Their sixth drive, they started from the Malone 45. It took them 7 plays, and Carl Zender on a 10-yard touchdown run, and the extra point once again by Michael Bressard. On the other side of the ball, on Malone, they've had the ball 6 times. 4 times were 3 and out with a punt, and 1 blocked punt by Timmy Carbonell for the Raiders. Their 5th and 6th, they had 1 interception on their 5th drive by Jimmy Morrell, and then on their 6th drive, you saw that interception by Rick Lund. Corey West, 10 attempts. He completed 4 for 45 yards. Rock Hill got 1 of those for 5 yards. Rayom 2 for 17 yards. And Shodat 1 for 20 yards. Their runner, really the only one we've seen carry the ball very much, was Quinville, and he's got about 15 yards. On the Massena side, running, we've got Zender with 6 carries for 36 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Morrell with 8 carries for 46 yards. Michael Bressard with 7 carries for 90 yards. And Witten, 2 carries for 7 yards. Receiving, we've got Barton, 1 for 17 yards. Flynn, 1 for 25 yards and a touchdown. And his attempts, he attempted 4, completed 2, and 43 yards overall in his passing. So Massena coming out really strong here in the first half. They're going to have to keep it up. They've only got a 24-0 lead over the Malone Huskies, but I believe Malone Huskies will come out a little bit stronger here in the second half. So we'll take this commercial break, and we'll be back with the second half. You're watching all this on the sights and sounds of Edwards Production Sports. We're back at Mike Nicholas Field. Quinville takes an opening kickoff up the field again.
Jay Quinville with a nice kickoff return as the Malone Huskies will come out trailing 24-0 here in the second half. And Tim, looking at some of the statistics from the first half, the Massena Central Red Raiders led in rushing by Mike Bressard, 8 carries, 103 yards in that first half. Carl Zender, 5 carries, 29 yards. Jim Morrell, 8 carries, 33 yards. Red Raiders pick up a total of 175 yards on the ground in that first half. Rick Lund was 2 of 4 in the first half, passing for 33 yards and 1 touchdown. Red Raiders with 208 yards of total offense in that first half. The Malone Huskies just 23 yards rushing. Corey West, 3 of 6 rushing, and Jay Quinville, 7 of 17. Corey West was 5 of 12 in the passing department for a total of 38 yards and 2 interceptions. So the Massena Central Red Raiders dominated that first half, and it certainly showed on the scoreboard.
It'll be 3rd and short for the Malone Huskies.
We were not able to get a score on that Watertown OFA game as of yet. Corey West
just on a little keeper up the middle, quarterback sneak. There is a flag on the field. No, there isn't.
Ball on the Massena 31-yard line. West trying to draw the Red Raiders offside. The handoff is to Quinville. Quinville with a big hole. He gets, well, Rick Lund just not tackled him with one hand that time, but a big gain and another first down for the Malone Huskies. Down by a bunch of points. They come right out here quickly after a good kickoff return by Jay Quinville, and they've been able to march down deep into Massena territory now.
Well, that's what it was. They weren't running much off tackle, and there's a big off tackle play. Give the Raiders something different to look at.
West once again gives to Quinville. Quinville.
Second and 7.
Ball resting on the Massena 13-yard line. Second down and 7.
There you see little Jeff Reynolds. Wanted to get on TV. He's our own Jeff Reynolds' son.
Ball at the Massena 8-yard line. 8:15 and counting remaining in our third quarter. West, this time the pitch to Quinville. Quinville's got some blockers out in front of him. Gets down to about the 2-yard line. Jay Quinville picked up 6 yards on the play. Got behind the blocking of Casey Lane that time, around right end.
Just a lead block. They pull the onside guard, follow him out there. They get him out there, and they get Lane out there. 2 big blockers, try and get him around the corner and upfield is what they did.
West, they give once again to Jay Quinville, and Quinville is in for a Malone touchdown. As the Huskies get on the board, Quinville, as I mentioned, came into this game with 125 carries and 605 yards rushing.
He had a good hole there. He just squeaked to the hole, 2 yards, put his shoulder down, got a good body lean, and got into the end zone. .738 left in the third quarter. They're going to try for 2.
They have Casey Lane in the backfield. They give us to Quinville.
Same play they got on the touchdown.
And they say, no good?
Just short. Does not make it, so our score is 24-6. The extra point was no good. Like the same play that they got the touchdown on. And with this break, 7:38 left in the third quarter, you're watching Sights and Sounds, Edwards Production Sports.
Northway Carpet and Floor Center, located on Main Street, Massena, would like to invite you down to take a look at our large selection of carpets, vinyl floor coverings, wallpaper, blinds, and ceramic tile flooring. Northway Carpets is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday 9 to 2, and open in the evenings by appointment. So come visit Northway Carpets at 138 Main Street in Massena, or phone us today at 769-7231.
Back at Mike Nicholas Field, ready for the kickoff. Back is Witten and Morrell for the Raiders. To kick off is Todd Taylor. High end over end kick, fielded by Witten.
And Witten gets to his own 40-yard line, and that's where the Red Raiders will take over 1st and 10 from the Massena 40. $7:25 to play here in our third quarter. Massena with a big first half, scoring 24 points, going offense for the first time here in the second half. And it's Mike Bressert, the ball carrier. Bressert picks up 5 on the play. Call it 2nd and 5. Bressert now with 108 yards in the game so far.
Carl Zender trying to get around the corner. He does, but he's taken down from behind.
In front of the Malone bench.
By Quinville. There you see our Hanekahaga Fuel scoreboard. That was easy for me to say. Massena 24, Malone 6.
Why do you think I always point when I want to say the score?
Third and short for the Raiders. Flynn will come wide to the near side.
Lund, they give us the Bressert. He has a big hole, picks up the first down, and then some. Finally tackled on the play by Dick Rockhill. But Bressert picked up 10 on the play. Bressert once again.
Picked up another. Looks like it's close to the first down. Just short.
Picks up 9 yards. Mike Bressert having an outstanding game. Bressert, who had 15 carries and 75 yards, and the other rushing touchdown in the 22-12 loss last Monday to Malone.
There's Jimmy Morrell pulling Quinville with him, but he gets nailed by Todd Taylor.
But Jim Morrell moves the ball for the Red Raiders and also moves the chains. The ball now at the Malone 26-yard line. Red Raiders send a man in motion, and they give us to Morrell. Morrell down the right sideline, knocked out of bounds by the Huskies' Donovan Rayom. Morrell gets down to the 5.
And here you see the replay. Just a deep handoff to Morrell, and he takes it, tries to get to the outside, and got brought down at the 5-yard line.
The Malone Huskies coming into this game and done a relatively good job against, seems like Watertown and Ogdensburg, holding them close until halftime, but then gave up some big plays in those games that allowed the game to get out of hand as Watertown and OFA won their games against Malone. But in this game, the Red Raiders have just dominated, and it's been their offensive line that has done a great job against the Malone defense. A Malone defense which, from the scouting report, good size and quickness on defense. But the Red Raiders have the upper hand in this one. And it's a touchdown.
It'll be Michael Bressert on a 2-yard touchdown run. Here you see it, just a lead block, and he is so strong. There was a face mask anyway, but he is so strong and so big, he can just bowl his way right in there. He's just like a big bowling ball. And picked up another 6 for the Raiders.
The extra point is up. It is good. With 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining here in our third quarter from Mike Nicholas Field in Massena, New York, the Massena Central Red Raiders leading the Malone Huskies 31-6.
Hanek Kahaga, located on Route 37, is your last chance for gas. We also offer a complete convenience store with snacks and cold beverages for these long, hot summer days and nights. Don't forget to check out our amazing prices on discount American and Canadian cigarettes and great prices on all our gas. Hanek Kahaga is located just past the Twin Bridges on Route 37, your last stop for gas and cigarettes on the reservation in Hogansburg. Welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field. The Raiders ready once again to kick off. Michael Bressard will be doing the kicking off. Quinville and Rockhill back deep for the Huskies. 31-6 is the score, 4:24 left in the third.
Mike Bressard's kick.
High. Fields it at the 10.
And is Joe Rockhill. Rockhill makes it to his own 35, and that's where the Huskies are going to take over. 1st and 10.
Well, they had success moving the ball last time, Chip. We'll see how they do this time. If the Massena defense, yes, they're going. Massena's going. It looks like in going to be in a 5. Oh, they come into a 6 now. Shift into a 6, trying to take the run away. Dan Bailey in there for the Raiders. Timmy Carbonell.
And what you meant, of course, was a 6-man front.
Exactly, yes.
Pickup of about 3 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and about 7 for the Huskies.
I tell you, Chip, I think this is the most workout this track gets all year long. And these kids go around this track about 15 times. Little reverse to Rockhill. Didn't fool Timmy Carbonell.
Good play by Carbonell that time.
You ask these kids to come out here in gym class, walk around the track or run around the track, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Football's game going on, they don't want to watch a football game. They're walking around, talking to their friends.
Casey Lane in the backfield along with Jay Quinville. The give is to Quinville. Quinville moves ahead close to the 1st down.
First down.
And we'll move the chains. 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining here in our third quarter. West, a quick drop back. And a pass completed to Curtis Matlock.
Corey David was there to wrap him up from his inside linebacking position.
Once again, it's that quick two-step drop back.
See, the ends aren't holding him up enough. Scott Pomainville got a shot at him, but he let him squeak to the inside, which what he might want to do is kind of cheat to the inside a little bit, give him a shot. Don't let him inside. Keep pushing him outside. Use your hands.
I believe it's Curtis Matlock, the injured player, the receiver on that last catch. And while we have this chance, we're going to step away. 31-6 our score. Massena in the lead. 2:16 remaining in our third quarter.
Attention, Burns Truck Stop number 9 is your one-stop place for tax-free gas, American and Canadian cigarettes, all your convenience store needs. We also have soft ice cream for the long hot days, so stop into Burns Truck Stop number 9, located on Route 37 in Hogansburg, for the 24-hour service you deserve. I was driving down Route 37 in Hogansburg trying to find someplace to eat that is not your everyday dull food. I came to the Wolf Clan truck stop and saw how clean and neat it was. Wow, look at the great gas and Canadian and American cigarettes. So I pulled into the large lot and went inside to find breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus that were not the same old thing. What's this? Surf and turf? Stuffed mushrooms and escargot? This is someplace different. The Wolf Clan truck stop, Route 37 in Hogansburg. Matlock coming off under his own power, gimping a little bit. And we're ready. 1st and 10 for the Huskies.
They have the ball in Massena territory at the Massena 45-yard line. Corey West. The give is to Jay Quinville. Quinville. Stacked up that time by Corey David.
No sign of injury there. Corey David has had 2 nice tackles in the last 2 plays. That one he really got in his face, hit him nice and hard, make him think once again when he comes around that end. I got to look out for Corey David.
They send Rockhill in motion. Jay Quinville once again gets the carry. Picks up a couple of yards on the play. It will be 3rd and about 3. They call it 2. So 3rd down and 2 for Malone. We are under a minute to play in our third quarter. As we are ending this third quarter, I thought we would see Malone throw the ball more than I have so far.
They're having success on the ground. Why throw it and have a possible interception when you're having this success on the ground? And plus, it chews up the clock. Clock really not in Malone's favor, but maybe get Massena thinking run, and then like another little pop pass or even a fly with Quinville or Rockhill.
Huskies pick up another first down. 20 seconds remaining in our third quarter. Rockhill goes wide right. Matt Showat wide left. West rolls. Now he's being pressured. Throws the ball complete. I believe it's Rockhill. Yes, it is. Joe Rockhill makes the catch.
Here you see it. He's getting a lot of pressure. Scott Pomainville couldn't keep him inside the pocket. Rolls out, gets the ball off. Quinville there to make the grab. And that'll do it for the third quarter of action. Our score 31-6, Massena over the Huskies. Huskies.
Here's big heating news from Econo Fuel's showcase room on the South Rack at Massena, New York.
The popular Monitor direct vent heating systems are now available at EconoFuels in either kerosene or gas models. Monitor offers high efficiency, comfort, safety, and a quick payback on your investments. Also for hot water, Monitor uses no storage tank and provides an unlimited supply of hot water at a consistent temperature for pennies a day. Let EconoFuels open your eyes and be kind to your checkbook with the Monitor instantaneous water heater and sensational direct vent heating systems.
Stan's Men's Shop, located at 24 Main Street in downtown Massena, can fit the needs of every man, from small to big and tall. Suits, sport coats, slacks, sweaters, shirts, ties, tuxedos, and all the accessories. Make your shopping simple. Come to a real man's shop. Come to Stan's Men's Shop in downtown Massena.
Huskies quarter action. Set to go. Both had the same idea that time. Tim, as the Malone Huskies have the ball inside Massena territory, the ball at the Massena 17-yard line. As a pickup about 3 yards on that play.
Malone showing a lot with the run in the past two drives, really moving the ball.
But like you mentioned earlier, the thing about the run is that great, you can pick up a lot of yardage, but you also run time off the clock, and right now the clock is against them. West rolling to his right, looking, getting pressure, gets away. A pass intended in the end zone for Quinville, and there was contact.
They were both going after the ball.
Bobby Flynn and Jay Quinville.
Here it is. He rolls out. He's got lots and lots of pressure. Timmy Carbonell in there. They almost get him down. He rolls out of it, launches it, and Bobby Flynn and Rick Lunn were there to break it up. So it'll be another third and long, third and about 7 for the Huskies.
Their backs are in the I formation. West pitches. Quinville looking
He's going to throw
pass. In the end zone, and it's to Joe Rockhill, and it is a touchdown.
Big, big play. Here's the replay pitch. You know he's going to throw it the whole time, and just gets enough on it. Bobby Flynn goes down. Looks like he lost a little bit of his footing there. Bobby Flynn went down, but that pass goes in the books. It's a touchdown.
Joe Rockhill picks up his 3rd touchdown on the season. It is now a 31-12. Score. Here's a pass that gets...
That was swatted. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, I think it was Michael Bressert got his hand up and swatted that ball down. So the score remains 31-12. Red Raiders over the Franklin Academy Huskies. And Massena will get set to go on offense again. And with this time, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
All of us at Kentucky Fried Chicken would like to thank our customers for their patience and consideration during our construction. We know you will appreciate the improvements. Good things are coming to Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right, located at 232 Main Street in Massena. For orders, please call 315-769-3993.
Jimmy Morrell back for the Raiders. Flynn and it looks like Witten are up.
When do we see the onside kick? Not quite yet.
Well, you are going to see it right now. Massena better start shifting. Right to Danny Bailey. Good job. Just drops on it. Gives the Raiders excellent field position. I probably wouldn't have went for it in this situation just for that fact there, that it gives Massena great field position, and they have been moving the ball.
And they did not catch the Massena Red Raiders napping.
No.
Good play by Dan Bailey. Just to fall on it. Don't worry about gaining any yards.
Well, he's a lineman. He doesn't want to be picking it up and running with it anyway. Carl Zender, or Jimmy Morrell almost missed it. Changes direction. Fumbled the handoff, almost dropped it. Changed position, or changed directions and got some big yards. Here you see, almost drops the ball. Gets a good bounce, changes directions, makes a miss. Turns it upfield. And finally gets tackled by Lane and Quinville. We have a flag. It's on Malone talking to Captain Dan Bailey. There's our Harnett Cahaga Fuel scoreboard. Massena 31, Malone 12.
"10 minutes, 29 seconds remaining in this football game. Red Raiders dominated the first half here this evening.
They'll be just short, about a foot. So Raiders will come up with a 2nd and short.
They are shy by about a foot.
Should look for a quarterback sneak. No.
They give us to Mike Bressard, and Bressard picks up the first down. Mike Bressard has had an outstanding game here this evening. We have him down unofficially for 131 yards rushing.
Great game with still 10-16 left in the contest. Carl Zender with nothing doing.
Zender tried to run around right end that time. In on the tackle that time was Dick Rockhill. Rockhill's been in on a lot of tackles in this game for the Malone Huskies. Down to 9 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in our football game.
Raiders taking all the time that they can. Oh, and there they go, jumping off sides. Raiders taking all the time that they can. They want to run this clock down, but that didn't help. 2nd and 15. 9:21 left. Score is 31-12. Massena over the Huskies.
Red Raiders have only had 73 yards of total offense in the OFA game. Certainly corrected things in this one.
There's Jimmy Morrell streaking down the sidelines. First down and much, much more.
A big gain that time for Jim Morrell.
That'll get them close to the end zone. Here we see the replay. Jimmy Morrell just hits that hole, gets to the outside, and there he turns the corner, right up the sideline. Finally, he hit out of bounds. Jimmy Morrell has had an outstanding game tonight, Chip. I've got him unofficially over 100 yards, 107 yards.
They gave us to Bressard. Bressard tries to run left, but he is tackled on the play by Dale Sherwin.
Second and goal from the 10.
Red Raiders bring in 3 fresh players, and
Donnie Moffitt and Callie Wells check out for the Raiders.
Bobby Flynn is back in the game. He'll go wide left. Lund, the give is to Zender. Zender tries to run to his right, but a good play that time and good anticipation once again. Dick Rockhill makes the play. We're under 8 minutes in our football game.
Loss of a yard on the play on the 11-yard line. The clock will start. 7:50 now. And there's our score, 31-12. Massena knocking on the door once again.
Red Raiders run up the middle. Jim Morrell, the ball carrier. Rick Lund
Tried a bootleg, but I think that was more or less a keeper, a bootleg, and he was supposed to get to the outside, but the containment was there, and they will turn the ball over on downs. Be 1st and 10, the Huskies from their own 10-yard line.
Under 7 minutes remaining in our football game.
One thing there with that Massena drive, they didn't score, but they ran a lot of time off that clock. They ran about 4 minutes off the clock, 3.5.
Corey West back to pass. It's a square out intended.
That was a nice crossing pattern by Rockhill, and couldn't see his number. Matt Shodat.
And Joe Rockhill.
You can see it. I don't know if our camera's got it. There's the cross. Mixed up the Massena coverage. If he could have caught that ball, he had daylight right down the sidelines. That's the thing with the crossing patterns. You get both your defenders there. If you're not talking on defense, especially defensive backs, that's when you get mixed up and they can get a big play and you can get burnt.
West fakes to give up the middle. He's looking deep. Midfield intended for Joe Rockhill, but just a little bit too far away from the Malone wide receiver. He did get behind the Massena secondary, though.
He did. If his pass would have been on the mark, once again, it's just Malone has been just inches. If they could have handled some of the passes, or if the pass would have been on the mark, things would be different right now. .6:25 now on the clock.
West back to pass. This time he completes the pass to Rockhill.
Pick up about 7. And here's a replay. Just on a little hooking pattern. There's some discussion on the field.
He appears to be about
the spot, or I think they're going to come out and measure, yeah. They'll measure to see if it's a first down. And with this timeout, we'll take a timeout. You're watching Edwards Production Sports.
At the Mariner test facilities, we run our outboards day and night for weeks at a time, right up to the breaking point.
How's the endurance test going? Seems to be running pretty strong.
At Mariner, we don't just test our outboards, we test the limits. Mariner, tested tough to be better in the long run.
.538, they got the first down.
Corey West looking deep once again, and this time it's picked off. The pass was intended for Donovan Rayom, but the Red Raiders secondary picked that one off.
Here's the replay. Here you see it, good fake up the middle, caught the interior lineman, then he airs it out, but Bobby Flynn, he is so tall, he got up there and picked off the play. That was Tom Fay? I thought it was Bobby Flynn. I thought it was 33. It was 23. I'm sorry.
So the Red Raiders just looking to kill some time on the clock now. We are approaching the 5-minute mark in our football game. And another big game for the Red Raiders. Mike Bressard with a 20-yard gain.
Another 20-yard gain for Michael Bressard. Just a quick hitting play. And Michael, look at him. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to take him down.
How many carries does Bressard have?
I've got him 15 for 153.
This time the Red Raiders, once again, they give it to Bressard. He picks up a couple yards, call it 2nd down and 8. At the Malone 23-yard line. So the Red Raiders, who were impressive against Canton on the ground in the first game of the season, Red Raiders counting out 344 yards on the ground against Canton.
Jimmy Morrell around the end and into the end zone for another Red Raider touchdown. Jimmy Morrell. 20-yard scamper for Jimmy. And here you see it, just a little slant. He hits the outside, and he's got such speed, makes him miss. Walks into the end zone, untouched. 37-12, the score.
Mike Bressard on once again to attempt the extra point.
.404 left in the fourth.
So when I said this one promises to be a good game, I certainly jinxed the Malone Huskies here tonight, because the Red Raiders just came out and just have played an outstanding football game here this evening.
Well, they had a mission, losing their last 2 games. They had injuries. Now they're, like we said, they're healthier, and they just came out with a mission, and they wanted to win this game, and that's exactly what they're doing.
This time, Bressard's kick appears to be no good. Off to the right, and it is no good.
We have no commercials.
So 4 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. 37-12, Red Raiders leading. You know, one of the points that Tony DiAgostino brought up during the week was that they had to stay away from allowing Malone the big play, and they certainly have done that also.
That is what they've done. In their pass defense, that's where Malone's going to get their really big play, is in their pass defense, and or on their passing offense. Malone, that's where they usually get their big plays. but Massena did such a good job preparing this week, and the players just really came out. They had their heads into this game, and they're showing it right now. Michael Bresser didn't know which hash he'd rather kick from.
The standings in the Northern Athletic Conference going into tonight, Potsdam clinched first place with a 5-1 record, or at least a share of first place. Governor and OFA were at 4-2, and in Watertown, Malone and Massena were all at 3-3. Canton were at 2-4, and St. Lawrence Central were at 0-5. If the Massena Central Red Raiders win, which obviously they're well on their way with 3 minutes and 57 seconds left, if they do make it into the playoffs, I believe they will play Potsdam.
Yes, they should play Potsdam in their first round. So the Raiders be able to maybe avenge that loss of last week. From what I understand, they didn't play a bad game last week. The breaks just didn't go their way. They couldn't get really motivated, get things really rocking.
Potsdam are an excellent football team. I don't think they really had to do much passing in Monday's game against Massena, but they have that as part of their repertoire.
I haven't had the chance to see Potsdam this year, and I've been looking for it. Last week I wanted to go to the game, but I ended up going to the Malone St. Lawrence Central game to scout, and Malone really was impressive against St. Lawrence. Like I said tonight, they were just like inches away from the big play or making their first downs. And then you see another pop pass, but broken up big by the Raiders. 3 minutes exactly on the scoreboard.
That pass was intended for Todd Taylor. Casey Lane, the quarterback, and his pass is deflected.
Deflected by Jamie Mock for the Raiders. Got a big paw up there.
Jamie Mock using that good height that he has to get a hand on that pass. And guys like Jamie Mock and Dan Bailey, as soon as the football season's over, it'll be time
for basketball.
Put the basketball sneakers on once again.
And we had we had 12 men on the field for the Raiders. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Casey Lane. Hands off, I believe, to Doug Griffith. No,
I think that was Pickering.
Yep.
Glenn Pickering. Picked up about 9. .219 now and running.
And I noticed on the near side here that some of the Malone fans have seen enough of this game and they're heading back home.
It has thinned out on the Malone side. Massena fans still here. It's gotten a lot cooler since this afternoon.
Casey Lane throwing a flutter pass.
And I think Jamie Mock once again got his big paw up. Got a little bit of that ball. Looked like it had a little deflection.
Of course, we saw Jamie Mock's brother David
That's right. Does he get a piece of it? Yeah, it looks
Yeah, I
like he
think
did
so.
get a piece of it. He almost came down with that pass through double coverage.
David Mock, of course, playing, as we saw, Union.
That's
play
right.
Against St. Lawrence University. Very impressive win that afternoon as Union defeated St. Lawrence University.
And they will get the first down. First and 10 from the Raider 45.
1:45 remaining in our football game.
Actually, it's looks like the 49, Chip. Clock still running, minute 36.
Running outside on the right is Jason Spinner. Spinner gets over the 35, down to about the Massena 33.
Good pickup by Spinner that time. Massena getting Tommy Bean in there, number 73. Well, now he checks out. Pat Tripany in now for the Raiders. P.J. Rochford back. And defensive back for the Raiders, number 11.
Corey Andrews, the running back on that play. Andrews gets down to about the 26. Picks up about 8 yards on the play. It's about second down and 2 yards for a first down. We are under a minute in this game, down to 35 seconds. Lane back to pass. He throws over the middle.
Intercepted by P.J. Rochford. Massena takes over with 21 seconds. They're at their own 16-yard line. Here we have the replay. Drops back, gets the ball off.
Good read by Rochford that time.
Great read. He stepped right in front of that ball.
Just 8 seconds remaining in our football game.
And they just got out on the field. They'll let it run. 3, 2, 1. And that's the ball game. There's our final score on the Hanet Cahaga Fuel scoreboard. Massena 37, Malone 12. And we just saw total domination on both sides of the ball by the Raiders tonight, Chip.
Very impressive Red Raider win tonight. They scored 24 points in the first half. Mike Bressard had an outstanding game. We have Bressard for
16 carries, 153 yards. That's unofficial. It's tough here. But Jimmy Morrell with 15 carries, 130 yards. Carl Zender, 9 carries, 38 with 2 touchdowns. And we also had Witten in there with, I've got him 2 carries for 7 yards. Defensively, Massena played really strong against this big passing team of Malone. Can't say enough for their defensive backs. They did a great job.
the Red Raiders held Malone to just 23 yards of rushing offense in the first half. And then Malone came out, moved the ball a little bit in that third quarter. But really, too little, too late. They couldn't stop the Red Raiders here this evening.
No, they couldn't. They were overmatched. Some plays could have gone their way, but it just wasn't in the cards tonight for the Malone Huskies. Good rivalry between Massena and Malone, but there was nothing that they could do tonight. And with Massena can come out and play the rest of, if they go into the top tier playing like this is a team that could contend. They could play up there with the Governor and the Potsdams and the OFAs. OFA, we've also seen that they have turned around almost 180 degrees from their start this year. Massena came out strong, lost the last couple games, and now hopefully this could be a turning point for the Raiders and come out next week. I believe they'll have Potsdam. I don't even know if they're going to make it right yet, but if they do, they should have Potsdam, and hopefully, they can play like they did tonight, play as a team. They played well. Everybody knew their assignments. There wasn't really any missed plays tonight. You didn't see We saw a couple motion penalties on the offensive line, but that was about it.
They didn't allow any big plays, which was key, obviously, as Tony DiAgostino had mentioned earlier in the week. But a good win here. The Massena Central Red Raiders will probably anxiously await the final score of that OFA Watertown game. Hopefully the Red Raiders will be playing football again next week.
And that'll do it. And there's our Cahaga Fuels scoreboard. That's the final. Massena 37, Malone 12.
Our football action this evening has been produced and directed by Chad Edwards. Our cameramen have been Bobby Maciosi and Gary Edwards. For my colleague Tim Cole, I'm Chip Chapman. Have a pleasant good night, everybody. Once again, Red Raiders win over Malone by the score of 37-12.